Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The scenario is The Terrible Secret of Lot X. It was written by Luke Strom, and he is our GM. This is episode 2. Our band of insatiable curiosity seekers have been doing research into the mysterious contents of Lot X, recently auctioned from the Pell Estate. This has led them to the coast of Massachusetts, to the woods surrounding the town of Essex, where they have discovered an old ship buried in the soft ground. A look inside has revealed the missing shoes of children, a very ominous sign. What's that? What's that in the dark? Something breathing down your neck. Let's continue our journey into the darkness. Luke?
Thank you very much, Tom. Excellent. Okay, so where we had left off, Randall Eckley Esquire had made his way down into the hole and heard a voice coming to him from the shadows.
Did anyone come down with me, or am I down here by myself?
You were the first one down. No one had come down yet.
All right. Well, then I will start backing up and go. Who's there? Who said that?
Who said that? I said that. What are you doing here? What business do you have with Geck?
We were just looking for some children, and while I'm saying this, I'm trying to slowly back up to the opening.
Okay. Well, with that, make a spot hidden.
Okay. No.
Okay. Well, you can barely see a form in the shadows, kind of out in the corner of the room near you. This figure looks human, from what you can tell. It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
You can see occasional flashes of color, like not like shining or anything, but like in its clothes, like it's wearing something bright that has elements of bright, colorful stuff. You just catch bits of it. But this person, they've got long hair that's down over their face, and you can barely make them out into the darkness. And they say,
What business have you with children?
I look up. I was like, Gladstone, you got that gun? We got a vagrant down here or something. And I get out my trusty pocket.
Oh my God.
okay.
No, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If I could hear something, him talking to somebody, I would have already been leaning into the hole with my rifle.
Okay.
Just because I didn't expect anything to be there. And if I heard something, I'll do what I do best.
Go down there, Aldous. Go on. Go make sure he's okay.
Well,
Do you
I'm
think there's a lion down there?
leaning over the hole, training the rifle on it. You know, obviously not on him, but any other.
Yeah. No, I gotcha. Okay. So everybody, what's your dex real quick? Gladstone?
My dex is 50, but I'm already I'm laying on my stomach for the
I
hole.
gotcha. Eckley?
55.
All right. Cornelius?
55 for me as well.
Okay. Gertie?
45.
And Frank?
60.
Okay.
It's because of my high heels.
Okay, so
That'll do it.
Aldous, you've got your gun pointing down this hole, and it's not a really huge hole like this entrance, this makeshift hatch. It's a small hole. I mean, barely big enough for a person to fit through, and basically you just see underneath you Eckley kind of like backing away from some voice in the darkness that you can barely hear. And Make a spot hidden check.
All right. 26 out of, man, I can't see. 26 out of 65.
Okay. So as Eckley says something about passing down the gun, you see this shape lunging out at him, and you can take a shot at it.
Boom. All right, that's my best skill. So let's see. Hopefully, I didn't jinx myself.
Oh,
70 out of 70. Hopefully, that works.
Okay.
ice cream.
roll for your damage.
It's a hunting rifle. I don't have the unfortunately, I'm not prepared. What's the damage on that? Do you know?
Okay. Is it? Do you have like a bolt action Mauser? Is that what you're using?
Yeah, just like a whatever you would take a big game gun, hunting rifle.
Oh, I gotcha.
Meant to have
It's not an elephant gun, though, right?
No.
How about a Lee Enfield?
Something for like to shoot deer or
2d6 plus
caribou.
4.
Yeah, 303 would be all right.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty common.
Yeah. 2d8 plus 4 is a Marlin rifle, which is probably what you've got.
So 2d8 plus 4?
Mm-hmm.
All right. An 8 and a 1. 9 plus 4. 13.
Okay. 13. Okay. You fire this shot, and it goes straight down through what looks like is maybe a person. You just get a quick glance at it. Whatever it is, you hit him dead on, and he still keeps moving. Randall, as your attacker comes into the light, you get a full view of him.
Okay.
This person definitely isn't a person. He's got first of all, he comes at you with this strange loping gait, way faster than you expected him to. And as he comes into that light, lunging at you, you see his face is kind of almost horse-like with massive teeth, giant sharp teeth, and his eyes actually shine with light. And one of his eyes is much higher up than the other, just giving him a deeply uneven, unsettling appearance. And now that he's come into the light, charging at you, you see that he's wearing, as if it were a poncho, what looks like maybe was some patchwork quilt that had been assembled by some loving grandmother. And he's just got a hole torn through it with his head poked through. And underneath that poncho are a pair of strongly muscled arms with large claws on them, lunging at you. His feet, you just catch him for a moment as he dives towards you, are uneven. One is a leg ending in a gnarled cloven hoof, and his right leg is a scaled and fur mottled talon, like something you'd see on a lizard or a raptor. And with that, he is making his way at you at speed. Are you going to try to fight him off? Are you going to try to stab him back? What are you up to?
If he's swinging, I'm going to be dodging.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
Yeah. Fumbled that 0-0.
Okay. Ouch.
Yeah. Get new dice.
Okay. So as you stumble, he's coming at you with both of his claws, his clawed hands, and you kind of stumble back, and he only catches you with one. But when he sinks it into you. The claws actually sink into your chest, and you can feel he has you by your rib cage. You take 9 points of damage, and he just lifts you into the air above him as you howl in pain. And make a sanity check.
Yeah. And that's definitely more than half my hit points also. That is a failed sanity. Barely.
Okay. Well,
What's happening?
You lose an additional D6 sanity, and Aldous, you
What's
get to make
going on
this
down there?
sanity check as well, as this twisted beast just lifts Randall up. You're good? You made it? Oh, no. Yeah, D6 if you fail.
Yeah,
I
I
lost.
found that.
Oh, 5 sanity loss?
No, 4.
Oh, 4? Okay.
I only lost one.
Okay.
I was pretty happy.
So yeah, you're a little too focused on the fact that there are taloned fingers inside your rib cage to really process how horrifying this creature is.
You want me to make a con save to see if I pass out?
You're okay for now.
Okay.
But with that, Frank, you've just witnessed Aldous fire down this hole. And you hear this blood-curdling scream coming from Randall down below. What are you up to? Frank?
Is he frozen?
Is he...
He's concentrating very, very, very hard. You've put him into a stupor.
He felt his sanity too.
Yep. Just
He'll come back in a minute, probably.
Okay, we'll cut over to Cornelius then. Cornelius, yeah, you see that. You see Aldous fire his gun, and then you hear a blood-curdling scream from down below. Aldous himself lets out a yelp. For you know him to be a pretty brave guy, but he sounds terrified of what he sees below.
And I'm talking in South African, like rambling or something.
Is there another way down there?
oh my, I'm coming, Randall. As I take the hunting rifle that Aldous provided us all when we came out here, and I'm going to start trying to head down the steps.
Make a climb check.
Con?
Climb.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's a fail.
Failed? Okay. You're not really at risk of falling and hurting yourself unless you want to push it. But like these are old and slippery stairs. You put your foot on them and you start to slip, and then you're like, okay, I need to go a little more closely. But with you and Aldous there, it's getting pretty crowded. Randall, meanwhile, down in the hole, yeah, you're flailing around on this thing's hand. You see Cornelius trying to crawl down after you. What are you up to?
First I scream, "Get me the fuck out of here!" And then I try and push off to see if I can just get these claws out of me and just fall backwards from him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a brawl check.
Can I spend some luck to make it?
No, not in this case.
All right, then no, I did not make it.
Okay. You push and push against him with your rapidly waning strength, and the creature just pulls you closer to his face, and you just have this horrific smell of rot that just blasts you in the face as he chuckles at you.
Hi,
I'm
back.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, I don't know how much you caught of that, Frank.
You had just asked me what I was going to do.
Okay.
Apparently, I froze in terror.
Yeah. Well, Cornelius
Really
is going to
good, too.
climb down the hole. What are you up to?
Well, is Gertrude still holding onto my arm?
Presumably so.
Okay. I guess I will kind of.
I had just said, is there another way down there?
Yeah, and from what you
I'll
see,
sidle slightly closer and observe.
okay, make a sanity check if you look down that hole.
Okay. That's a pass.
Okay, so yeah, this freakish guy, obviously, because he's it can't be some kind of monster or something, just some kind of weird looking guy, is shredding poor Randall.
Not quite literally, but he's about to.
Yeah. Yeah, he has his fingers wrapped around the bones of his rib cage. And meanwhile, Aunt Gertie,
Yeah.
what are you up to?
I'm screaming and holding my ears, and
Okay.
I don't know what to do. I don't have a gun. I don't have a... but once again, is there like another hole, or is there a bigger way in this?
If you want to make a perception test, you can look around.
Spot hidden. Oh, I got an 11.
Okay. You actually see, I mean, the only other hole that you see is there's an area where some of the boards look kind of heavily rotted and a little bit halfway collapsed in, which is actually kind of near where Aldous had almost collapsed some of the boards.
Okay, well, I'm going to run over there because I want to see what's going on.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out my gun because I think a transient
Yeah.
is attacking.
Okay.
Mr.
So you're gonna go over there and try to like pry up one of the boards so you can get a look down there. Okay. Okay. So that's what you're doing right now. Bringing us back around to Aldous, who has his gun drawn.
Now, is there a clear shot, or will Randall be in the way if I try and shoot again?
Right now, you're gonna have a penalty die.
But do I feel I can hit Randall? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean it's a possibility.
All right, so I want to just leap down there and kind of try and land with the butt of the gun, because that's what you would do.
Here's the quick question: which is more important to you, landing a hit or landing safe?
Landing to hit.
Okay. Okay. So first and foremost, make a brawl check.
All right. To me, it would be landing safe, but not Aldous. He didn't do anything. Brawl?
Yeah.
05.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That is actually extreme.
Okay, excellent. So yeah, roll for max damage on. I guess you're just trying to club him with the butt of the gun.
Correct.
Okay, so just like as an improvised club, D6 plus your strength bonus, and then max damage on that on whatever that is.
So it would be 6 plus the D6, right? No strength bonus.
Oh, you don't have a strength bonus? So well, it's not it's not impale. So you just do max. Okay. Okay.
Oh, so it would be 6 plus 6, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just 6 then.
Okay, so you leap down, not wanting to risk accidentally hitting Randall. And as you drop, you clock this thing on the back of the head. And you hear the crack of bone and just this stinking brown blood begins to ooze from the back of its head. And make a jump check as well.
All right. No, 90 out of 30. He just went head first.
Okay, so you land hard, and as you crash into him, you land hard and land badly on one of your legs. You take 5 points of damage as you badly sprain
My hip.
your left leg. Let's see, that brings us back around.
This game is all going to end in the hospital.
The horrible secret of Hospital X.
Of nurse.
Horrible secret is the hospital bills, man.
So, Gek, this creature that you're battling with, it just throws Randall behind him onto the ground, seeing you as a bigger danger with the gun in your hand, and charges after you. Are you going to try to fight back or fight defensively?
If I could just shoot him as he charges me, I'll shoot him.
Well, you're still trying to pick yourself up. You don't have time to bring the gun around. Okay. It's like you can bring the gun up and kind of defensively fight with it, or you can even try to like crack it as it comes at you. Basically, it's whether or not it wins the tie.
No, I'm going to try and defend, because if I can't shoot, he's not that great of a fighter.
Okay, make a brawl check.
43 out of 45.
That is not enough. Yeah, he got an extreme success as well. Just like with just like with Randall, as you're on the ground, he reaches down and just sticks his sharpened talons into your neck and grabs. You take 10 points of damage.
I'm done.
You're feeling yourself bleeding everywhere. And with that, Frank, topside. You hear shouting. You're looking down. You see Aldous jump down. He cracked this thing in the head, and it's bleeding all down its head. It's thrown Randall aside and is mauling Aldous, trying to tear his neck out.
All right. I guess I'm going to have to draw my pistol. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to yell at it. You're surrounded. Stand down.
Okay.
In a very.
Are you taking a shot, or are you just trying to scare it?
I think I'm gonna try and aim.
Okay. You're just gonna hold your action and aim. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cornelius. So you're coming down the stairs, and with Randall tossed aside, you see this creature. Make a sanity check, and then depending on how that goes, let me know what you're up to.
I failed. It's a D6, yeah?
Yeah.
4 points I lost.
Okay. So with that, it is definitely not human, this creature that's attacking them. And you let out a howl, but otherwise you're okay. What are you up to? Are you going to try to pull yourself up? You actually see above you, Frank is trying to aim a pistol down through the hole.
Oh, I'm gonna fire at it.
Okay. Well, I mean, so you just hop down and you're going to take a shot at it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I missed my shot.
Okay. So it's dark in here, and he's not that far away, and there's lots of thrashing movement. You take your shot, and it booms throughout this small enclosed room down here. Your ears hurt, but the creature seems unharmed. And that brings us to Randall. You've been tossed aside. You've got a sucking chest wound. You can see Aldous is in big trouble.
Did I have a turn in there somewhere?
You were prying up the things. You're gonna you go at the end. You're 45.
All right.
Yeah. What are you up to, Randall?
Can I tell? Do I see the hole that Gertrude's trying to make?
Yeah. You've basically been tossed onto your back. You're looking up, and you see her face pulling a rotten plank away.
Okay. Well, I am a risk taker, and I'm going to try and see if I can, since I'm behind the thing, run up and see if I can grab Gladstone, maybe by his legs if that's closest, or by his shirt collar, and try and yank him away from it.
Okay, you're gonna try to pull
toward the hole that Gertrude is at.
Okay, make a strength check.
Come on, baby. Oh, I got a hard success.
Wow. Okay, so suddenly you gather up the the fury of the Forsaken Lawyer and lift yourself up with a primal shout, grab onto Aldis's leg, and yank him free from the clutches of this creature. And it tumbles to the ground, confused, and just snarls at you, staring at you with its burning yellow eyes with utter hatred.
Since Aldous has been yanked away from him, can I take a shot now?
Yeah, with it, since you're specifically aiming, holding your action, go for it.
Okay.
You take a shot, and then Aunt Gertie's turn.
Well, it's a good thing I waited until Aldous was away, because that's a fail.
Okay. Yeah, you take your shot down that hole. You're not able to hit the creature, but you don't hit anybody else.
Too dark.
And Aunt Gertrude, so you've pried up a plank. You see underneath you, Randall picks himself up, howls his war cry, grabs Aldous, and kind of pulls him back into view again underneath you. What are you up to now?
Do I see the Gek?
Yeah, if you look down under there, and in the shaft of light further down the entryway, you see him, and make a sanity check.
All right. 49. What's my sanity? Yeah, that's a pass.
Okay, so you don't lose any sanity from it.
So
obviously, this is some derelict.
Maybe I still think it's just some derelict.
Yeah,
but I'm going to pull out my Derringer and shoot it right at him.
Okay.
29, and my firearms is 40.
Okay, roll for damage.
Damage on a Derringer is 1d6. Not much. 6.
So, this creature is bearing down on Randall, who's bleeding to death, and Aldous, who is passed out from blood loss. And as it marches towards them, you creep your hand into that pried up hole and fire a single shot and nail it right between the head. Those glowing yellow eyes snuff out in an instant, and it just crumples to the ground.
Mama don't miss when she aims a gun.
Good shot.
Oh, shit.
Thing down. I'm going to try and do some first aid on Aldous.
Okay, go for it.
Oh my god. Did I get him?
That is successful. Regular success.
Okay, so you first aid him up, and
I'll try and help pull people out of the hole.
okay.
Yeah, I'll help too if I can.
Okay.
After I do my victory dance.
So, Aldous, how far down in the hole were you on hit points, or did you just hit 0?
No, I was at -4.
Oh wow! Ouch.
Yeah.
So yeah, you try to patch Aldous up, and let's
First
see.
aid should bring him back to 1 point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep him from dying.
With it, that's basically all you're able to do. He's unconscious. He's lost a lot of blood. You've got him patched up.
Got to get everybody to the hospital.
Yeah, you think you're probably going to need that.
Yeah, back to the car.
What is that thing?
Anyone bring an axe? Cut this thing's head off.
As you,
That's a bit gruesome.
Mount it to the wall.
as you mentioned an axe, you kind of are looking around down here, and you see buried in a, or actually, like kind of in a table, there is a small hatchet down here.
All right. Well, I'm up.
I think we need to get the police out here because must be the maniac who's been killing kids.
Oh,
I agree.
I agree.
Look around, see if there's any more evidence. We can get out. We got Aldous up here on the grass. We'll take you back as soon as we can.
All right. Yeah, I don't like being down here by myself because Cornelius is probably headed out. So I'm going to grab the hatchet, give a parting shot to its neck, and get out before I rip my wound worse than it already is.
Gotcha. So holding your chest with one hand, you bring the axe down on this thing and sever its head from its neck, and then slowly climb your way out. With this, it looks like it's going to be trouble getting Aldous out, but with it, Frank's still in pretty good shape to help pull him out.
Do we have some rope?
I do not. I look around for some rope down here. Rope down here in the detritus and all.
Yeah, make a spot hidden check.
Raj.
Oh,
That is successful. Just a second, my computer came unplugged.
yeah. I made a successful spot hidden too.
Okay, so down in this hole, you guys are able to find some old and pretty heavily rotten rope. Like, it's a little suspect, but you think it'll hold. Beyond that, as you're looking around for stuff in here, you also find another hatch kind of at a weird angle, possibly on the original plane of the ship. And this hatch looks like it leads down into potentially somewhere further. And it looks like it's been used. Like, you can see signs of use.
I will make note of that. Maybe mark it with my blood, and I want to get out of here.
Okay. So yeah, between the two of you guys, you're able to eventually pull Aldous up as well.
You're gonna be okay, honey.
Who was doing the first aid?
I was.
Okay, give me one more first aid roll for yourself.
I can do some first aid too.
I did not pass first aid on myself. I spent all my knowledge on him.
Well, Aunt Gertie, you can go ahead and take a roll.
29.
Okay.
That's 1 point.
Yeah. So, Randall, you get a hit point back.
Hooray!
And there is a first aid kit with the equipment I brought, if that helps.
Okay.
Well, none of us have any medic. It does actually. It gives you like a bonus dice, but we passed. So
Yeah. I got a success on a first aid roll too, so I helped.
I hope that Band-Aid holds.
So yeah, with it, you guys patch up Randall as best you can. The injury's pretty severe, but it looks like it's not getting worse. He'll survive. Aldous is patched up a bit. Pumped a little bit of morphine into him, and he's coming to. Like, he's not in any kind of shape to pick himself up and walk around. But Aldous, you're drifting back into consciousness again. There's a lot of sunlight in this cave, and there's trees everywhere. This is a very confusing cave right now.
I'm bouncing back from South African to Turkish and Spanish, and then eventually English. And like, good God, what the hell was that?
Shush, honey. He's talking nonsense. He's just babbling. So we got to get everybody back to the hospital.
You're all right, Mr. Gladstone. We'll get you back to civilization.
Get the trophy.
I ain't going back down there.
We'll worry about that later.
I'll get it.
No, you don't. Come on. This way, up the path.
I'm assuming you guys are going to have to, like, stretcher me out at this point.
Well, we'll get you back to the car.
They'd already gotten you up by the time you returned to consciousness.
So let's get him back to the car and get him back into Essex, where we can take him to the hospital. We can always come back here and look later.
Okay,
we should bring the police, though, because they're probably looking for this vagrant now.
Well, Frank, you're the last one up out of this hole as you're kind of supported Aldous to bring him up, and you looked around for if there was anything of use down here. One thing you noted before you climbed out yourself, this creature's body looked like it had begun to rot away, like you had been spent at most a few minutes down here, and it looks like it's already covered in a month of rot. Like there's this carpet of fungus all over it, and it's already gotten putrid and rotten.
I cross myself, and well, we have people to worry about, so nope, not going to worry about it.
Yeah. So with it, everybody packs up. You guys make your way back to the car. Is that the goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randall, please. You saw those claws, correct?
Yeah, I felt the claws. Yeah, I saw it too.
It wasn't a hallucination. You saw what I saw.
Yeah, like a crazy horse hybrid that tried to rip my heart out.
All right. Just making sure, because I thought it was. I thought I was imagining it wrong.
Oh, I wish we were.
All right.
So yeah, with that, you guys are able to get yourselves loaded up. You make your way back to the town of Essex, and you get yourself some medical treatment. Do you guys have any particular excuse for what happened? I mean, there's no gunshots or anything, but there are some bad injuries.
Moose.
I would just spill the beans. I'd be like, we went out into the woods because we were going on a walk looking for some interesting stuff, and we ended up finding this old ship that had been buried a long time ago, probably came up from a hurricane, and some crazy vagrant was living there, and he had kids' shoes. I think he was the one who was murdering and catching the kids. That should be enough to get the police to go out there and look.
Oh yeah. I mean, if that's your story, pretty quickly, and
he was there and he attacked us.
Yeah, and with it, I mean, Randall looks like he's been stabbed repeatedly in the chest with a knife. Like,
Right.
From the wounds that he and Aldous have are pretty severe, and although they don't quite look like what a bladed weapon would do, it's close enough for.
Well, he hadn't trimmed his fingernails in years, so they were like claws. And I admit right now to the police, I shot him right between the eyes. You'll find his dead body lying out there.
Well, with that, the police are pretty quickly dispatched out there. Obviously, Gertrude Freitag is not a.
I was just defending my family.
Danger to the community, so they're pretty willing to believe you. And beyond that, the injured members of the team, you guys are all able to get patched up by medical professionals. Aldous, Randall, you guys both get back a D4 hit points.
I get my picture in the newspaper when it's done like this.
3.
2.
Okay. So yeah.
So I'm at. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at 4 currently. I had 1, got 3 back.
Yeah. So yeah, you're not looking good, but you're up and about now. The doctor would prefer that you stay, but that's up to you. Beyond that, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as those two are getting patched up, Gertrude, Frank, Cornelius, I guess you guys will speak on his behalf. What are you guys up to?
Well, we're in the lobby, obviously, waiting for, but we're talking. It's like, so now what do we know? Because we came out here because of what the map showed us. And we found this crazy guy laying in a ship. I mean, this crazy guy in his ship. Now, I don't know about the weird thing with the dust. That was very, very strange. But regardless, do you think there's treasure in that ship? I mean, it's a ship. Why would he have this marked on the map?
I'm willing to go back at some point.
Well, and that thing called itself Gek. Didn't we hear that name before?
It's a very strange name.
Wasn't there something written?
Yeah, it was on the last page of the of the ledger.
Going back to my notes.
So, Mr. Pell had some connection with that thing down there. And that ship. I wonder if there's treasure down there. You know, there could have been maybe, but then again, that thing wasn't dressed very well, so there's probably no gold or silver or anything like that because he could have bought himself some decent clothes.
Yeah, but if a ship of that age, anything could be an antique, could be worth money, couldn't it?
Well, everything looked like it was kind of rotten, but gold doesn't rot.
No,
Silver
it is.
turns black.
I'd be willing to go back in a day or two once I get my strength.
Well, if the police don't find it all,
If the police even find it.
I'm sure they'll. Well, I don't know how you could miss it now because we kind of blazed a trail.
Yeah, and all the leaves are gone now. That's a strange thing how he hid that ship.
Well, in the notes, it does talk about getting with McLeonard. I wonder who that is. Maybe they know something. Of course, so then we might have to share the treasure. And if I'm going to have these scars, I want at least a little compensation for it.
They look very nice on you.
Oh, thank you. Jenna will love it.
They give you character. Well, hopefully Aldous completely recovers. I think he's...
I've had worse.
A little bit of lie and those stains will come right out.
What do you think that guy was? I mean, he was some sort of a deformed, crazy person.
With the shot, I've taken down a full water buffalo with one shot of my rifle. I hit this thing square in the chest and he came running at Randall. I jumped on him and cracked its head open, and you shot it in the head to take it down. No human being could have taken one of my rifle shots, never mind all the abuse all 4 of us had given it.
So you don't think it was human? Some kind of a monster?
And I just kind of like raise my hand towards Randall and look at him like,
yeah, if it was human, it was nothing I seen. I mean, I've heard about this thing called the Elephant Man, and maybe he was deformed like him, but yeah, he took a shot straight on from Aldous, and he had enough strength to about rip my heart out.
Well, you know, sometimes these sort of people have incredible strength as part of the strangeness of them. But what? Oh my goodness!
You saw its eyes glowing like the dust was glowing. I don't believe in monsters. But I've seen some weird things back in Africa. And this is the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. But
I'm sure there's something absolutely rational about all of this.
Well, do you want to go back there tomorrow and just take a look around? I don't know if the police might be all over it, but otherwise we can go back to Arkham.
Oh, I think we should go back. I mean, I took its head off. It's dead, and I'm patched up now.
Yeah, what if there's treasure? Didn't you say you saw another like a hatch?
I did. I even marked it so we can find it again.
I don't think he's got a girlfriend or anything.
Well, even if there's no treasure, we still have to mount that creature and put it in Cornelius's house. It'll look great with the ostrich.
Well, didn't you say, Mr. Eckley, that it seemed to be kind of dissolving?
Oh, yeah. It like had a fungus on it, is what Frank was telling me. And now I look back, yeah, I do remember it having that. But I mean, can't imagine it's dissolving that quick. Ugh.
Well, it's filthy down there.
Oh, now you make me worry about it.
Who knows what kind of disease? I'll make sure you take a shower.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully they scrub this out with some lye.
What do you think, Cornelius? We've all just about recovered. We're here in the hospital, just getting ready to leave and go back to, I don't know, should we get a hotel or something here in Essex and rest before we make that trip back to Arkham? Or we can stay overnight and then go out there back to the ship and see if there's any hidden treasure.
Yeah, Arkham's not all that far off. I
It's
mean,
not.
with it, yeah.
Half an hour.
Oh, well, if it's that close, I'd want to go home, see the wife, and cash in on the scars. So
Yeah. So I mean, with it, the thing is this point, just going to the hospital took up a big chunk of your day.
Right.
You know.
Let's just go home then. If we want to come back, we can come back. We can find out from the police what they found.
Okay.
Yeah, the wife will be getting nervous.
Oh my, I'm sorry. I seem to have had a terrible fall.
Yeah,
Or
how's
that
your head?
occurred.
How's that bump on your head? Everything went black for a while there, didn't it?
No, yes, it did.
Oh, well, we killed that person.
Person.
Gertrude took the coup de grace on it. Took the shot.
I did.
Oh well, Gertrude, that's amazing.
Right between the eyes, right between his strange glowing yellow eyes. I'm going to have nightmares. What a strange person that was. That he could have gotten a job like in the circus or something.
Oh, agreed.
No, but
Yeah.
I think he had other things that he enjoyed doing than entertaining people.
I'm afraid he was a strange one. He was killing children. Oh my God.
Well, I mean,
Oh my God.
Horrifying thought.
Now is Aldous okay?
Barely, but yes. I'm patched up.
Yeah, his neck and upper chest are all heavily bandaged. He's going to have some really impressive scars to show off in the future.
Let him sit up in the front. It's less of a bumpy ride.
Cornelius, I'm saying we have to go back, get that thing and mount it for your ostrich room.
Well, if it's not
yes.
the way he said, then there's probably only a skull left. But we can do that tomorrow. Let's go home.
Well, there's just a skull left that can accompany my other one.
Oh, yeah.
I think under the circumstances, Mr. Gladstone and Mr. Eckley can fight it out over who gets the trophy.
oh,
They took the worst damage.
Actually, Gertrude is the one who should have it.
I don't want it. That's disgusting.
Oh, but you must. You saved us all now, didn't you?
You guys, it's like when you hand me the pickle jar and I open it. It's only because you guys already did most of the work.
Yes, but we could never get it all the way open.
So I did the coup de grace.
That's some pickle jar.
Let's go home.
all right.
Okay, so you guys pack up, drive home to Arkham. It's by that time it's late afternoon, early evening, dinner time.
Frank, I'm so sorry you didn't sign up for any of this.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Gertrude.
I think I'm going to tell Clyde and the other guy, who I can't remember all of a sudden, Max and Clyde, to keep the shop closed tomorrow. We need a rest.
All right.
Good night.
Cornelius, if it's all right, I'd just stay at your house and then.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I need some rest and some soup.
Yes, yes. Would you like to lay on the couch next to the ostrich?
I would love it.
Should I make you some soup? I'll come over and make some soup.
Chicken soup heals everything.
Chicken soup with dumplings or with noodles?
Both.
All right, that's twice the work. Then all right.
But and I just point to my shredded throat.
Whatever you want.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna go home, make up a story that I got injured falling down. Kind of want Jenna to worry about that and ban me from working with Cornelius anymore, and then lay down and go to bed.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the story goes over pretty well until you take off your shirt and there's just a patchwork of bandages across your chest. Then she looks a little more worried, but you're a lawyer. You're pretty good at talking people down.
Busy day in court, she says.
Objection.
So, I guess everybody rests up that evening, and then the next day, does anyone have anything in particular that they were looking to do early the next morning, or even that evening?
I'm gonna look through the phone book and see if I can find that name McLeonard that was in the journal, because he talked about talking to McLeonard about fighting the Gek.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you flip through the phone book. You find a couple of McLeonards in the county area. Are you just gonna cold call out and just, hey, do you know Mr. Pell, that kind of thing, or are you just kind of collecting information about him for now?
Yeah. I am just gonna cold call and just go, hey, did you know Mr. Pell? And when they say yes, I'll kind of come up with a little bit of cover story about how we had purchased the item, and we're just wanting to see if he could help us out with this journal, just because we're trying to assess how much the items are worth.
Well, one of them is a farm up Shrewsbury Pike, a ways from Arkham. Another one is actually a little bit south of Essex. You call both of those numbers, and basically you get responses that they're not familiar with a Mr. Pell.
All right. Well, I thank them, and I apologize for taking their time. And then I make note of the address of the one that was close to Essex.
Okay.
Then I'll head over to Cornelius's to see what the gang's planning.
Okay. Anybody else up to anything else that evening or into the next morning?
Yes, I'm going to read through the some of the papers that were with Lot X about this place, this hunt, so to speak.
And I'm just making breakfast for everyone.
Oh, certainly. Well, reviewing the papers again, Cornelius. This stuff about about Essex and the missing children and all that is like the last couple pages that are filled out. I mean, there's a few pages after that are just strictly blank, but like that map, the kind of to-do list, like that all just kind of identified as like a hunt. That was like the last thing in this book. From before that, there's a lot of creepy, weird stuff in this book that is really incomplete. Like you guys had, well, actually, go ahead and make. You can either make a library use or a half education.
All right. Oh, I failed my library use.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're not really sure why, but there's a lot of the stuff in this book is definitely heavily incomplete. Like there's like references to things, but it's obviously not in this. And then, you know, with it, you go even further up in this ledger, and then it is just like a straight up business ledger before that point, like just buying and selling things. It looks like almost somebody just, you know, took this thing and then, you know, they had been using it for business stuff and then just started just using it almost as scratch paper.
Okay. And there's any mention of like bugs? Because we're calling back, he had the guy who had accosted me in the parking lot was talking about bugs had done something to him.
Make a. Well, actually, I guess you're not going to need to make any kind of a search for it, but looking through the thing for bugs, you don't really see anything that really sounds like that. With it, you see some strange, a couple of descriptions of monsters. Like a couple times, he's like, you know, he mentions like an invisible beast or some kind of demigod from the woods. There's like a couple of things like that that are just hinted at here, but it's maddening in a way because it's not like he's writing things out for the most part. Like the last few pages where he seems to be taking relatively comprehensive notes, that's new. Earlier, it's a lot of incomplete stuff where it's almost like scratch paper.
Gotcha.
So there's more there. Yeah. Meanwhile, Gertrude is making a delightful breakfast for everyone. Anyone else taking a look at anything or had anything else they wanted to work on?
I'm just looking at that shotgun again, going over it, kind of like I'm just kind of resting. I'm cleaning my gun, checking all my equipment to go back out there. Also, gonna try and find out if I can get some rope to bring so we could just drop the rope down to climb in instead of falling, and more or less just really looking at that shotgun.
Okay. Well, I mean, you already had a pretty good read on this thing from before. Like, this is obviously a well-crafted weapon. This is like, you know, this is like some like, you know, old world European masters kind of stuff where this is probably in somebody's family for, you know, 100 years or something like that. And, well, maybe not quite that long, but with it, this thing, the carving in the side of it just doesn't fit at all with it. Like it's crudely hacked in there, but like you know, by someone who's not you know, an artistic professional by any means, and it definitely stands out. And it doesn't have any kind of you know, staining or anything like that. So it obviously wasn't part of it from before. It looks like it's relatively recent, probably, you know, compared to the age of the gun, somebody maybe chopped this into it, this icon into the side of it within the last few years, maybe.
Okay. That's about it on my part. I'm trying to take it as easy as I can before we go back out there.
Okay. Yeah. Did anyone else want to take a look at anything? Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Fenton, do you mind if I look at that ledger?
Oh yes, go right ahead.
All right, thanks. Let me see. It'll be a library.
Yeah, or hard education, whichever's better.
Education. That is a success.
Okay. So yeah, you're looking at it. Yeah, Cornelius hands it off to you and mentions, you know, there's like partial stuff. There's like chicken scratch in here, like, you know, little odds and ends. And as you're looking through it, yeah, a lot of what he's doing in here is very definitely notes for other things. Like, looks like some of it is referencing books, and that was like one of the things that you guys had taken a look at earlier. That one of the books referenced is some book, and you're pretty sure it's a book now at this point. Is that Necronomicon? It's and again, you know, with it, that was you guys went into the library, and Professor Armitage had refused to allow you to see it. With it, you're pretty certain that this pal may have had a copy of one, and if he did, it's not with the lot that you guys have. But you're starting to, you know, with what you've seen, you know, you think there may be a lot more to his stockpile of strange and unusual things, but with it, whatever Cornelius had purchased, it wasn't with that. You know, maybe with a previous lot, but not with this.
Do you think it would be possible to find it from the auction house? What was in the contents of the various lots and who bought them?
That's definitely an option. That's what you guys want to do.
Yeah, I could possibly. I would know I guess I could make a law check to see if like I could obtain that by a legal means instead of maybe an underhanded way.
Well, if it's underhanded, then it's not legal, honey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
however, if the buyer was not, I've done a lot of auctions, you know. If the buyer was just a buyer and not a private person with a proxy, then the auction house should give you that information. If the person sent a proxy because they didn't want to be known, then there's no way you're going to get that information from the auction house.
Yeah, I mean,
try.
Yeah, with it, there's definitely legal angles you could take. Those would take time, but you know, you're just like
why don't you let me try? Because I've dealt with the auction people before.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you catch more flies with sugar.
Or familiarity. I can just go ahead and say, "Hey, Clark. Hey, Michael. How are you doing?" Level it.
Who would send a proxy? Who wouldn't want to show off what excellent things they've added to their collections?
Oh, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who like to buy things, and they don't want anybody to know they bought them because they don't want people bothering them.
And if all that fails, we could do like what we did when I was back in Turkey. You just stick a gun in their mouth, and people seem to talk.
I think there's laws against that.
I can confirm there are.
I'm amazed people can talk while a gun is in their mouth. That's quite impressive.
Right here, you know, they'll tell you all sorts of interesting things. I mean, just this is hearsay, right? That's the right word.
That's correct.
I just thought of something. Corny, after you bought the auction, a man assaulted you, you said, yes?
Yes.
Didn't the police grab that guy?
I believe, I don't know. They chase after him for sure.
Well, maybe if they caught him, we can find out who he was and what he was talking about. Obviously, there's something weird going on here, and he is just part of the weirdness. But they might have caught him. He might be, they might have let him go, too. If he knows who you are, see, that's why you keep it a secret. If he knows who you are, he's going to show up at the front door.
Oh, we want to talk to him, right? How perfect.
But let's see if you should go to the police station and see if they caught the guy.
Okay.
And who he was.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So with it, Cornelius is going to head to the police station. Gertrude is going to head towards the North Cape Auctions and Estates. Is anybody going to accompany them?
I will accompany Cornelius. I wouldn't want my client in the police station without his lawyer.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm guessing
I'm going with Gertrude.
Yeah,
okay.
Frank.
Aldous, are you going to hang around the house and rest up?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang around the house, and that way, if that guy does show up at the house, somebody's here.
Okay.
Yes, and there's somebody to keep the ostrich company. It gets terribly lonely.
Yeah, Cornelius, I like all this and everything, but lock up the liquor cabinet.
Hey, with all the blood he's lost, he's a cheap drunk.
He's
Probably.
very
He won't be able to drink much. It's fine.
So we'll deal with the North Cape auctions first.
Okay.
So Gertrude and Frank, you guys take a drive out to North Cape Auctions and Estates, where Cornelius had purchased his strange little box of mystery and terror, and you guys make your way in, explain. I'm guessing you're just going to explain what you're looking for, kind of be on the up and up.
Yeah, have I ever been here before?
Yeah, probably. Make an intelligence check.
Yes, the question also is, do I know anybody here? I got an 84 out of 70.
Okay. You've probably bought a couple of things here, but it's been a while.
Right.
But with it, you guys, explain you're looking for some information about a previous auction, and it's not long before you find yourself seated in the office of Jacob Halifax, the manager of the auction house.
Mr. Halifax, it's very nice of you to see us today. My name is Gertrude Fries. Great, I can't remember my last name. Gertrude I can't say it now. Freitag. I'm the owner of Timeless Treasures. I've got a few things here before. My nephew recently had acquired some stuff from an auction the other day from the Pell Estate. And, we have reason to believe there may be some of it that's not on the up and up. And we're trying to research it. We've got a lawyer, Mr. Randall Eckley, who's helping us look through it. Some of the pieces are very valuable, but what we need to do is we need to locate where some of the other items went. I'm not sure of the dates on the auctions. My nephew was actually accosted on the street by somebody who said that it wasn't legitimate that that you had sold these things. But of course, total discretion here. But could you help us out? Persuade.
Well, make a persuade roll.
How's my persuade? 17. 17 out of 40. Wait, is that a half? Yeah.
Okay. And let's see, that's less than your appearance and credit rating as well, correct?
My appearance is 50, yeah.
Your credit rating is 50.
Credit rating is 50, yeah. So all three of them.
He looks you over and says, well, Miss Freitag, yes, it's unfortunate to hear about such dangerous matters, but I think we may have some information that if with it, give me a moment. And he kind of stands up and begins going through some of his files in a big filing cabinet behind him. And as he does, he begins saying, by the way, we have a delightful auction coming up later this month. Yes, it'll be a wonderful collection of glassworks. Beautiful, beautiful things. And he basically continues to do this while he's looking through it after 4 or 5 minutes, and he's like pitching, auction after auction to you to see if you might be interested.
Any of it Waterford crystal?
Yes, certainly.
Well,
I
that's
just looked.
certainly worth looking into. Yes.
And
Yeah, I'll humor him too.
after a while, he goes, here it is, and hands you guys a little summary from that auction sale. Looks like from the auction house's notes.
All right. So let's see. We've got. Oh yeah, my goodness, your records are so nicely organized.
Well, we do pride ourselves on good work here.
I imagine with all the stuff
thing to
coming.
behold.
I'm sorry, Frank. What was that?
That's a thing to behold.
Yeah.
Such clean calculations.
So let's see. We've got lot A and B from the Palace State. The auction date was April 21st, 1928. Excuse me. It looks like it was purchased on the account of Great Eastern Tannery in Boston. Bolton, sorry.
Yeah, that's actually right up the road across from the Miskatonic River.
Yeah, there's a big old cemetery out there. Estate materials of Charles Pell of Arkham, Massachusetts, including objects from the home of the deceased, as well as the special collection materials from Pell's passport, imports, and antiquities, and all other objects not yet liquidated. Lot primarily includes furniture, paintings, and sculpture, mostly of Chinese origin. That's very interesting. Of note, miscellaneous Chinese language scrolls dating from modern to Song Dynasty. That's 1000 AD. Collected poems of Dr. John Dee. Dr. John Dee. I'm not familiar with him at all. Arkham Paranormal Research Society minutes. Collection of Bibles in 30 languages, various ages. How very interesting. I don't know who this poet is, John Dee. Dr. John Dee. I have to make note of that. That's it? There's nothing else?
I'm afraid that's all we keep records of. I mean, we have more in-depth billing information, but you understand, out of professional courtesy, I can't share that.
Yeah, we're not really interested in how much it went for or anything like that, but thank you very much. I look forward to some of these auctions coming up. We'll certainly be able to attend.
Oh, it will be a delight to have you, Miss Freitag, and thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you, hon. That's about all. Then we leave.
Okay.
However, I say to Frank, well, it might be interesting to know if somebody inherited the property, because this certainly isn't the entire contents of an estate, but somebody must still have some stuff there. But this John Dee, that's very interesting. I don't know who that is. We'll have to look that up in the library.
Yeah, that sticks out like a sore thumb amongst the rest of it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound Chinese at all. D, that's not a Chinese last name. Nor is John.
True.
Frank, you had actually gone through the through the estate notes, or not in the estate notes, rather through the ledger with Cornelius earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, make an intelligence check.
That is a 7.
You do remember the name D from somewhere, specifically in that ledger. Specifically in connection to the book that you guys tried to get from the Miskatonic Library, the Necronomicon. Specifically, D's Necronomicon was worse than I feared. Was the phrase from the from the notes.
Wait, there was something about. Yeah, there was a D mentioned in the ledger.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was in something else.
I was saying something about D's new, but some word.
Is it that book that we were looking at for in the library? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that Mr. Fenton went off to look for.
I think it was called the Necronomicon.
Yep, that was it. That was it.
I'm not sure how you'd interpret that funny word. I think it's Greek, it sounds like to me.
A lot of things sound like Greek to me.
My husband used to say that he spoke every language on the planet except Greek. And then you'd ask him a question. He'd say, it's all Greek to me.
So you guys make your way back from North Cape auctions. Meanwhile, Cornelius and Randall, you guys make your way. You guys are going to the Arkham Police Department, since that's where those were the police that had shown up to the North Cape auction.
Yes.
And dealt with the strange fellow. Okay. You guys have made your way to the Arkham Police Department. Asked about it, about the incident, and one of the detective, or not detectives rather, one of the uniformed police officers that had been there on the scene, actually is there to speak with you. He kind of comes out after about 10 or 15 minutes of waiting, after you guys have spoken to the desk sergeant, and the uniformed police officer, he comes out, looks over, and you can see the flash of recognition in your eyes. He's the one that had run off after the interloper had been seen in the parking lot, and he says, "Oh, it's good to see you again, sir. So I hope you're doing well."
Yes. Yes, I was just wondering about the man you had chased after. Did you take him into custody?
Oh, well, I'm afraid not. Do you happen to know who he may have been? Because when we chased after him, by the time we caught up to him, all we found was a pried open manhole cover. He'd made his way into the storm drains.
Oh, well, I don't know who he is, but he was terribly interested in the items I bought. I'm just worried that he might come back for them.
Have you seen him around your home, or has he contacted you in any way since then?
Not that I'm aware of.
Good. Okay, well, yes, so far we haven't found anything, but if he's in any way a threat to you, Mr. Felton, if anything else happens, by all means, let us know.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Eckley.
Yeah, I was wondering what street was the manhole cover when it was pried up? Was it far from the auction house, or just a couple blocks, I assume?
Yeah, it was less than a block away.
Oh, very, very strange, very strange. I'll have to do some research on where our sewers go. Maybe we can figure out where this maniac was running off to.
We tried to look down there somewhat, but we couldn't find hide nor hair of him, I'm afraid.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm not going down there. I've had a bad experience going down in the dark lately.
I see. Well, please don't try to take the law into your own hands. That's what we're here for.
Wouldn't dream of it.
And so beyond your concerns, so there was no new information then. You haven't he hasn't contacted you or anything like that. Well, if that's the case, then I'm quite glad to hear of it. We were a bit concerned that he might try to lash out either at you or someone else, but we haven't had any other reports.
All right, well, we'll keep you informed. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Well, that was quite disappointing. I was hoping that we could at least get a name or know where they are.
Yes.
You said he seemed like he would look like a homeless man?
He was in tatters, he was in distraught, and worst of all, he was holding some kind of organ in his hand, some kind of heart.
Oh, that's awful.
Saying that the items were his and that some bugs had done that to him. I don't know. It was all such a blur.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye out for him. Maybe he hides out wherever the vagrants hide out in Arkham. Maybe
yes,
we'll
perhaps
just drive by, but not stop, of course. Not without Gladstone around and his trusty gun.
Yes, hopefully, if we come across him again, hopefully it will be under safe and friendly circumstances. I hope. I do have some questions for him.
Agreed.
Okay, so you guys make your way out of the police station. I'm guessing return home. Around the time you guys get home, Gertrude and Frank are returning from the auction house itself. Aldous, meanwhile, is kicked back and enjoying all of the comforts of the ostrich room. Yeah, and with that, you guys still, this has basically just been a short morning of drives around Arkham. You guys still have the majority of the day left.
Well, did we want to run back to Essex?
I think so. I've gotten the hall pass from the wife, and I'd hate to burn that opportunity. Is everyone still up for it?
Well, I've reloaded my Derringer. It only has one bullet, but then one.
Well, one's all you need when you go down.
What were we planning to do in Essex again?
I'm not afraid to go down there this time because that thing is dead. We can find out from the police, too, if they found anything.
That's true.
You say the guy ran away from you and went down into the sewer.
Yes, it's quite odd.
That's very strange. Another vagrant of some sort.
What did he look like?
Oh, well, he was, I don't know, he seemed to be middle-aged and roughly my height. He was in a tattered suit and telling me stuff about how the contents of the box was his and that his heart was in his hand. He was literally holding like some kind of organ in his hand.
Did the man that died, that his stuff was sold at auction, did he have any sons or grandsons? Maybe.
Well, wouldn't he have gotten all of this stuff?
Well, maybe he was one of the family members that were cut out of the will, and he thinks he's owed this stuff. Maybe if we've traced his family line, we can find some people in the area that are related to him.
I suppose it's possible, too, that he could have, if he had a son, the son could have put everything up for auction.
And maybe some of the stuff is still in the house that he lived in and or his family's house.
Now let's see if we can find out who inherited the property. That's what we need a lawyer for.
Oh, yeah. I'll be definitely able to help out with that and maybe find out where he lived.
Okay, so with that, I mean, you're a lawyer. It's pretty quick for you to track that stuff down. You don't really need to roll for that. With it, pretty quickly, you've got the address of Pell's Passports, Imports and Antiquity, his store, or the location of his store, and his home as well, which is located on the east side of Arkham.
All right. Well, you guys want to at least swing by his store? I know it's been closed, but yeah, just take a peek.
Yeah, we can do that. Maybe
Wouldn't hurt.
I could pretend like I'm a buyer who's looking to take some of their surplus merchandise off their property.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll give you a great deal and you'll be an actual buyer.
It depends on what kind of crap they have there.
That delicious diner is right next door too. Oh, I love it.
Are you getting hungry for lunch, hun?
It is the police. I'm talking to the police. Does that to you?
You got to fill all those holes in your body too.
So, are you guys gonna now split up and check out the home and the storefront?
I think we'll go together, shouldn't we?
Yes, I believe so.
A fly.
We have
Okay.
rats. Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's
the
gonna
ostrich.
pile into the vehicle and then make the round, check the two places. From Cornelius's home, the house is nearer of the two. Are you guys bringing everyone? Is everybody going?
Yeah, I want to go.
Okay.
I'll tag along, although I'm much more interested in the shop.
Okay. Well, Pell's home is on the eastern part of Arkham, in a fairly well-to-do neighborhood.
Oh.
And as you guys pull up in front of it, it's a very well-maintained, nice 2-story home. White picket fence out front, perfectly idyllic looking. Definitely signs of occupation. I mean, it's not abandoned or anything like that. And yeah, that nothing seems out of the ordinary from the exterior.
Mr. Eckley, were you able to find out who currently owns it?
Was I?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Of course I was. That's all in the public records and all.
Yeah.
And it is lovely.
It's owned by a Mr. and Mrs. Seaborn.
Oh, yes. So, shall we go up and knock and see if what is going to be our story? I mean,
Well, once again, we just tell them that we through the auction we came across some of the stuff. The question would be is, did these people buy the house lock, stock, and barrel and then put that stuff up for auction, or does he have some relative that sold it to them? Or
well, yeah, that sounds good. Let's
do
go
they
up there.
have a bunch of this stuff?
Yeah.
Maybe we're interested in buying some of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. I suggest someone besides me talk. My face, for some reason, people, it's not agreeable to everyone, unfortunately.
Oh, you're adorable. Even with that scar.
Well, I'm heading up to the door.
Okay,
Right.
Cornelius, you lead the way. You rap on the door. You hear the sounds of footsteps within, and pretty quickly you're greeted by a rather cheerful-looking woman, maybe in her 30s, maybe 40s. And she says, hello there, sir. How can I help you today?
Hello. I was just wondering if you have any of a Mr. Pell's old belongings, because we were looking to purchase them.
Mr. Pell, you say? That was the fellow who owned this house before me, I believe.
The previous owner, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, the bank had cleared everything out. I might have a couple things. If you'd like, and she kind of looks behind Cornelius. How many of you guys are kind of standing back there?
We're all here. And we're
Long conga line.
I'm in the antique business, so we got some of his stuff in auction, and we were wondering if there was anything else, because some of it is very interesting.
Well, there wasn't much left. Let me look and see. She invites you all in. Come in, have some tea, and she has you sit down in her rather nice and looks freshly appointed. Like they just started to move things in. It hasn't really collected a lot of clutter.
Oh, such a lovely house.
Yeah. And she seats you all down, and she begins to make some tea. And as she does, she kind of explains, yes, we purchased this house rather recently, directly from the bank. I don't know quite what happened to the fellow who had owned it before this, Mr. Pell or whatever, but apparently he had some outstanding loans and things, and I don't know what happened to him, unfortunately, but they ended up liquidating his things. When we moved in, the house was mostly bare, not really too much left over.
He passed away, but he was an old fella, you know. So I guess they had to sell stuff off to get to make up for the debt. But you're doing such a beautiful job with the house.
Yes. Well, thank you very much. And as she serves you all tea, she sits down. Give me a moment. Let me go look. I think we put some of his things that were scattered around, you know, in the corners of the home. We found a few things, and we haven't disposed of them yet, but let me see. And she kind of comes back with a little box, and there's really not much in this box. Like, it's basically mostly empty. There's it's a
nice ashtray.
Yeah, what like an ashtray, like a couple of what looks like maps of New England, but that they don't even look like they've been opened. They're free of any kind of markings or anything like that. There's a few pictures in there, some of which look like they're actually Aldous probably recognizes them right off the bat, like from a number of different locales. Like, some of them are from India, from what looks like probably Southeast Asia, some from China as well. Looks like things he may have collected in his travels. And Cornelius.
Yeah.
There is one picture there, though, that definitely catches your eye.
About to ask if there were any people in any of the pictures.
Yeah, so one of them shows a smiling middle-aged man that is rather familiar to you. Make a sanity check.
Lovely. There we go. I have failed.
Okay. You lose D6 sanity as you realize this picture that you're holding, which on the back of it actually has like some written in information about where it's from. It says Pell, 1925, Chicago, and it's a picture of him in a library. But the guy in that picture is definitely that man who accosted you at the beginning of all of this.
I lose 3 points.
Okay. Yeah, it's unsettling.
Oh,
like he looks nothing. It takes you a while. You've been staring at this thing for the past few minutes.
Oh yes.
What's wrong, Corny? You seem like you.
Everything's fine. Miss, I would like to buy this stuff off of you for $2, if that sounds fair to you.
$2? Are you certainly? I was just going to throw it away.
Well, the only other thing we were kind of interested in is it seems that Mr. Pell collected an awful lot of books.
Oh yes, yeah. There were a couple of empty bookcases, and it looks like the bookcases have mostly been damaged whenever they were clearing things out. We threw away the damaged furniture, but there weren't any books remaining.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, the bank, I think, took all of those.
What bank was this? Was it a local branch?
Oh yes. I think the bank. Yeah, the Bank of Arkham.
Okay. Great.
Yes. Why? Thank you so much. Here you go. And I start pulling out some bills.
Okay. Yeah, she takes them quite happily.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So thank you. And I'm going to take the box. I'm going to start walking out.
Thank you very much. You have a lovely home. I hope you and your husband have a great time here.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you, miss.
The drapes are nice.
You'll need to fill this big house with children.
Oh, we're working on it.
I
Really
catch up to Cornelius, like, and it's like going. Are you right? All right.
This
my friend?
this picture, and I start like.
All right, I take it from him and look at it.
That's the man. That's him.
The
one who accosted me in the parking lot.
The one that went down the manhole?
Yes, the one and the same. The very man who was supposed to be dead, whose stuff I purchased. It was him.
Oh. Well, maybe he just disappeared. Maybe someone declared him to be dead, or he went crazy. I mean, there's no reason to panic. I mean,
are there any names on the back of the photo?
I flip it over.
Yeah. The one with the person on it, it has his name. The name of Mr. Pell, Charles Pell. Like I said, this one looks like it's him in Chicago. A couple of the other ones, they've got names and dates penciled into the back as well. But Aldous was able to recognize most of them without even having to check.
Gertrude, if our memory serves me correct, didn't you say he went to Tibet and never came back? They never said he died.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I was saying that Gertrude, I believe, if I remember correctly, didn't he go to Tibet? They never said he really died. They said he disappeared in Tibet.
Well, disappeared, died.
Well, he didn't die. He attacked me in the parking lot.
If Cornelius saw him,
well, do we have his name? Maybe we can figure out where he's living now.
It could be his son, or it could be him back from Tibet.
My guess is it's him, but he's here obviously somewhere. I don't think he's living in the sewers.
Yes, but his home's been sold. Where would he stay?
Wait. Well, are we talking about who? Are we talking about?
Pell.
Pell.
Mr. Pell.
Well, are you saying that Mr. Pell looks like the guy that accosted you?
I'm saying he is the guy who accosted me. They look the same. It's the same
I thought
person.
there were other people in the pictures. Okay. Well, that's crazy.
Wasn't he like 80 years old or something?
No, he was from what you guys know, in his late 40s.
Oh, I thought he was
middle-aged man
Yeah.
who was the one who attacked me.
Yeah.
Well, what happened that he couldn't pay his bills, he lost his home, he lost all of his stuff, and now he's running around Arkham somewhere, hiding in the sewers. That's crazy. But
well, maybe he's hiding at his shop. Did anyone take his shop?
Let's go there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually the next step. After you guys pack up, load back into the car, you guys drive by the location for Pell's passport, his import shop, and the place is shuttered and empty. Peering in through the windows, it looks like the entire place has been cleared out.
Yeah, they sold all of his stuff to pay for whatever bills he had.
Well, a locked door is just a suggestion.
Are there any sewer entrances near the store?
Near this door, you look around. You see a couple that are within a block or two. Yeah.
There like an alley or a back door? I mean, I'd be willing to walk around.
Yeah. There is a rear access alley that you can make your way around to.
Is there a basement entrance too?
Doesn't seem to be. Not that you can tell. This looks like it's just a little one-story shop.
Okay. Well, let's. I don't see anybody around.
I was hoping to do some window shopping.
Yeah, so Randall's peeked around behind. Like there's a rear door as well into the place.
I'll kind of like do a little subtle little whistle and like kind of
See if
flag
it's
some
unlocked.
get back here and like
He might have been. We might find that he's been living there inside the shop. Let's find out.
And worst case, if any authorities show up, we were here to see the property. The people showing us never showed up. We let ourselves in. Young Cornelius has the clout to purchase an establishment. You are in the antique business.
Right. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yes, and Eckley can talk himself out of anything. Isn't that right, Mr. Eckley?
Oh, I've talked myself out of quite a few jams before. All legally, of course.
Yeah, and this is in like a kind of a commercial street. There are other shops around and things like that, but it's still pretty early today. There are a few people out and about. People kind of in that late breakfast hour. But with it, yeah, you guys have plenty of room to assemble around behind the shop in the back alley. There's currently no one back there.
All right. Well, I'll check the door. Is it locked?
Seems to be.
We could establish the premise. I could go next door to that shop and say, did they leave the key here with you? Because we're here to see the shop. At least
That works.
that would sort of back up the premise that that's what we're here for. So I'll do that. I just go over and obviously they're going to hand me the key.
Oh, yes.
They know.
Oh, here you go.
Well, you make your way to a florist next door, and the florist says to you, "Well, that shop's been closed for quite a while. I don't know that there's much to it."
Yeah, Mr. Pell passed away, I believe, and we were wondering if they left the key with you, but it's okay. It's okay. We're thinking of setting up another antique shop.
Oh well, that'll be good to see a new shop opening up there. I hate to have an empty shop window next to mine. It's not a good look.
How long has it been empty? I guess he had some financial problems.
Oh, it's been some number of months now. I remember quite a ways back they brought up some moving trucks and emptied the whole place out.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And
breaking away.
Okay, so those of you guys around back.
Alibi established.
All right, now I'll take care of this door. I think. Yeah, Aldous, everybody else seems to be a little too injured from the prior day's events. I should be the one to have a go.
Oh yes, I'd hate to tear my stitches.
Put your shoulder into it, hon.
What's your plan?
I'm going to run into the door.
Okay, make a strength.
Yeah, the strength. Does my size 90 help me out at all?
Size 90? Oh, you're kind of a big guy, actually, yeah. Well, it may help you with your, given that it gives you a strength bonus to like damage and stuff. But yeah, go ahead and make a strength check in general to see.
Ooh, I passed. 31 normal success.
Okay. So yeah, you hit this thing, and your weight is enough to carry you through it. And yeah, you pop this thing open and rip it from the lock, and the door goes flying open with you tumbling in behind it, and you kick up a mess of undisturbed dust, choking the air with it. And looking around you, this place, it's dark. It's not well lit, especially in the back. But this place looks empty. This place looks like it's been cleaned out.
There's no footprints in the dust or anything.
That's what I was going to say. With the tracking, maybe if there's any fresh footprints or anything.
Well, Aldous,
Near
with
the
your
broken
tracking,
door.
yeah, you see. You see some signs of footprints and things, but nothing recent. Like this, very very obviously, this has been empty for quite some time and is not being used.
All right.
Well, let's look around. Let's see if there's a basement.
Okay. Yeah, you guys check around. You don't find any kind of a basement. You find basically there's kind of a rear storage area, small little storage closet / office, and then the main front area, and a small bathroom as well. But with it, in this place, there's all that's really left is furniture, display shelves, things like that. Like basically anything that's not that, like an old and battered desk, some, a few chairs, a few display racks, some tables, pretty much anything of note outside of that looks like it's been cleared out.
Well, let's make thoroughly sure, since obviously Mr. Pell had a habit of collecting things that he considered valuable. Maybe there's some hidey holes. Maybe there's something in the desk.
Okay.
Yeah, check the desk, look for like false bottoms or anything like that.
Floorboards or something.
Make a spot hidden check.
Everyone, or
Anybody who's kind of trying to inspect this place at length.
No luck for me.
no?
I failed.
I
Just a
failed.
fail.
By 5 points, I failed.
Okay.
Everybody failed.
It's just so dusty.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. You guys aren't really seeing anything in here. If there is anything in here, it must be hidden pretty well, or not exist at all. But with it, from what you guys see here, it looks like the bank cleared this place out pretty solidly.
Well, that was a dead end. Let's close it up. What a piece of crap this place is. It's not really that big.
Well, at least we found a picture of Pell.
Yeah, what do you suppose happened to this crazy man? Maybe he got jungle fever or something.
Something.
If he's living
Must have had to do with insects. He kept screaming about bugs when he attacked me.
bugs,
Yeah.
huh?
Maybe he got dengue fever and is going slowly insane.
Well, we still have time to get back to Essex, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, so far all you guys really did is a quick trip to the auction house, the police department separately, and then.
Why don't we go by Maestro's and we'll pick up a couple of sandwiches, some nice meatball sandwiches, take them with us, and we'll go back out to Essex.
Sounds perfect.
Yes, that sounds fine to me.
Okay. You guys get yourself a delightful lunch. You guys pack up. You guys make your way out to Essex. I guess you guys are heading back towards the forest where you guys have been before.
Yep.
Should we go to the police department first and ask them what happened?
That's what I was thinking we should do is
Okay.
see what they found.
Okay.
Also, I'm making sure to bring along rope and a lantern.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you guys drive out to Essex. You make your way out to the Essex Police Department, and there's a flurry of activity here. Like this is a pretty small town, but there's a lot more commotion here than it looks like there would normally be. Looks like you can see kind of out in the front parking lot. There's like what looks like a reporter maybe talking to a police detective. There's like you as soon as you guys head into the building, you can see a number of police kind of frantically writing things down, doing things, making phone calls and things like that. Like looks a lot busier than this place would normally be. A uniformed officer at the desk kind of looks up at the lot of you and says, "Can I help you?"
Yes, my good sir. We were the people that were discovered the shoes of the young children, and we were just following up on that. I lost a valuable item while we were out there, and I was just wondering maybe what you found, and maybe you found my wedding ring. My wife is very, very upset with me about that, about losing that.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Well, the officer kind of flushes and looks at you guys all and kind of shakes his head and says, "You don't know how lucky you were."
I'm not so sure we were so lucky if you look at the bandages.
Yeah, I gotta agree with my my friend Gertrude that we weren't lucky, but what do you mean by that?
Well, whoever it was that attacked you, we didn't find them. I think you mentioned Miss Freetag, was it? Yeah,
Mrs. Yes, Mrs. You see, you didn't find a body.
Yeah, you said you shot him, right?
Right between the eyes.
Yeah, we found some scattered bones and things around in there. We didn't find any body of any vagrant though. We found, you mentioned shoes. Yeah, we found that, and then I guess he had dragged one of you into the hole.
Yes. That was me. That was me. Unfortunately, he scratched me pretty bad.
He hadn't trimmed his nails in a long while.
Well, we could definitely use any information that you have, sir, because this has become quite a case. He didn't take you down below into the depths, did he? Apparently, below the chamber where you fought him in, we found some discarded bullet casings in the things. Where looks like you had dispatched him, but below that, there were so many bodies, so many.
Oh my God!
Of
the little children that he murdered.
All kinds. We're looking into it, but we think some of them may have come from the Essex graveyard, actually. One of the police officers on the scene, he recognized his grandmother's ring from one of the bodies on the top of the pile. And I haven't seen it myself, but apparently it was a pile of bodies.
That's awful. Oh
my God.
You say he's not, you didn't find him. Oh, that is quite disturbing news.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can give more extended statements, we could use it. This is much worse than we thought it was.
Oh my God. We the thing is that we didn't expect to find any of that. The whole thing was kind of hidden. There were leaves and there was detritus and stuff like that. And poor Mr. Eckley there practically fell through a hole in that old ship. It was all completely buried. And that's where everything started.
It was just random that we found it. It just, we were walking through the woods and fell through.
Well, you're lucky to be alive. This madman is some kind of serial murderer and grave robber, and so I suppose it's fortunate that the lot of you found him on your picnic.
You didn't find any body down below with a bullet hole in his forehead. Maybe he was still a little bit alive and climbed to there and fell down in that pit with the other bodies.
Not that I know of. And he shouts over to like a detective that's kind of hurriedly walking down a hall. He says, Hey, Dave, did they find any kind of other body on topside?" And the detective walks over and says, "No, they didn't find any kind of body. Nah, not really. Just, some gnawed at bones scattered around in the dirt. There's a pile of weird animal bones and some wrapped up in like a rotten quilt. It was disgusting."
Oh my God.
Awful. Sounds disgusting.
There's such crazy, insane people in the world.
Well, actually, detective, my name is Aldous Gladstone. I'm a big game hunter. I've traveled all over the world extensively. If maybe I could look at some of these bones, I could help you identify their origins, if that's possible.
Well, it looked like some kind of twisted boar's skull. It was really weird. But yeah, I don't know. We think maybe he had shot it because it had a bullet hole in its head.
In
the skull.
We may not have said everything clearly. See, this guy was deformed. In fact, one of you, and I point to the rest of them, I said, somebody said it was like that fella John Merrick, the Elephant Man.
Mm-hmm.
His skull was very strangely deformed. It scared excuse my language.
Yeah, but
the crap out of me. That's the guy that I shot. Yeah,
but that you did that this week though, right? When you and your friends checked into the hospital, correct?
Yesterday.
Oh no. The skull that I'm talking about, the one wrapped up in a quilt, that one's old. It was rotten and half place was filthy. Yeah. But no weird deformed guy, just some weird animal bones, some, like I said, some half gnawed people bones hidden around. But
did you by chance find Eckley's gold ring?
No, like I said, we did find some jewelry though. But I mean, the jewelry that we found seemed to be attached to bodies already.
That's unfortunate.
Well,
I've been trained in forensics. I'm a lawyer and all. Would it be possible that we could go out there? I could assist with some of the processing of the scene for a fee, of course. But I mean,
make a persuade or a law check.
All right.
Just talking to you in the precinct house right now, I should charge you a fee.
That is a success for the law.
Okay. Well, you kind of talked to them about the issue and mainly like as like a witness to this whole event. Kind of explain it'd be helpful if you could see it again and kind of take it from that angle as a witness rather than as like a consultant or anything like that. The detective that's there with you is like, yeah, I suppose that might help because we're stumped. This one This is the worst thing we've seen in town in a long time. Yeah, and any information you can fill out, that would be great. If you want to drive with me out there, I was about to go out there anyways. I'll take you. We'll check it out.
All right. Well, we have a vehicle. We'll drive. We'll just follow you up there.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure
That
enough.
sounds great.
So you guys accompany.
I'll ride with him.
Oh, you want to ride?
The detective.
Okay.
And on the way over, I'll ask if they found anything other than the bodies and the jewelry and other body-related items in the extra caverns.
He says, "Well, not really too much. I mean, it was just weird. Like somebody had dragged a bunch of bodies out of the cemetery, and then he kind of, in a hushed tone, kind of looks over at you and says, the worst part, looks like somebody had chewed on him. Like rotten, dead bodies from the cemetery, just eaten. Disgusting. The bones themselves are cracked open.
Awful.
You're telling me, bud. You're telling me. So, he drives out. You guys follow along with him and make your way out there. They're still the next day working on this scene, pulling up and organizing bodies. Everybody, when you guys come out to that clearing, make a sanity check.
I passed.
Pass.
Much like every sanity roll I made, I fail every time.
Oh, Corny, you always were a delicate child.
I am the most sane individual you know.
Okay, well, everybody who passes, you're fine. If you failed, it's 1d4. There are bodies in various states of decay being pulled up by some very unhappy-looking uniformed police officers that have they've got cloth tied around their mouths to try to shield them from the stink, and with it, they're laid out. Some of them have been put into body bags, but they looks like there's probably 30 or 40 out here, and they're still working on them.
Poor people.
And with the detective kind of waves his hand over the whole scene and says, "Yeah, this. You guys didn't know about any of this?"
No.
We were so badly injured by, everybody else was badly injured by this maniac.
Yeah.
We didn't explore anymore after that. We had to get to the hospital.
Any descriptive information you guys can give would be great because, like I said, he's gone. We didn't find him.
He had a bunch of kids' shoes.
Oh yeah, we found those. A couple of them. We were already pretty sure that they were worn by some children that went missing recently in the last few years, between either here in Essex or in some nearby towns. But Mr. Ackley, if you don't mind, and he kind of waves one of the uniformed police officers, "Get up out of there. I need to make some room," and kind of gestures to you to go down the hole.
I kind of brace myself and head on down into the pit or what, in the hole.
Now, officer, before I forget, if
Do
you're
they
going to
have
look for
lanterns?
any footprints away from the scene, they would not look normal. His feet were also deformed.
Deformed how?
Just peculiarly.
The whole man was deformed.
Like what? Like he had like a club foot?
Yeah. That's the best description.
Oh, well, yeah, we didn't really see a lot in the way of in the way of useful tracks, but we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
He then clambers down after Randall, turns on a flashlight, and hands it over to Randall. He says, "So, Mr. Eckley, yeah, anything you can tell me about this place, about what you experienced down here, about what you saw, I'd appreciate it."
So yeah, when I came down, unfortunately, I foolishly came down without a light, and I came over and there was a pile of discarded items. All of them were dirty, but then I noticed there was this pile of shoes that were immaculate, and then I heard a voice, and I described the kind of voice, whether it was gravelly, and I started backing out. When he got in the light, he had long hair, so obviously a one of the people not wanting to conform to society, and he was wearing like almost a quilt, like a poncho, like he just cut a hole, like
He kind of, as you say that, he grabs your hand and kind of aims the flashlight over to the side where you guys had left him to rot, and sure enough, you see that quilt there, and half buried in a pile of fungus is this deformed, it looks almost like a cross between a dog and a horse skull that's it's in bad condition, but there's obviously like a hole dead center in the forehead.
Oh, well, as soon as I see that, I'm like, that was the quilt, and I don't know how to explain it, but it, unless I knew better, I would say that that was his body. But like you said, I mean, it's stripped bare. I mean, nothing but bones left. I just don't understand at all. I mean, granted, I had some blood loss, so maybe I hadn't seen a lot.
Did the man have a dog with him, perhaps?
No, not that I recall. It was all very, very chaotic.
Well, yeah, this is bad news. Bad news for the city. Who knows when he'll strike again. But I appreciate you coming down here, facing this. It's mighty brave of you, Mr. Eckley. Yeah, this animal, I don't know if so you said he was wearing that quilt?
Oh, he was definitely wearing it. I can remember it coming at me as he reached out and he scratched me. Oh, yeah, I mean, scratch is definitely not the accurate term. He ripped me open is what it felt like.
Well, yeah, I mean, he reaches at his side, pulls out like a pocket knife and unfolds it, and uses the pocket knife to lift up the bottom of the poncho, or that used to be a quilt, and inside you can see like rotten scraps of bone in there. He's like, it's I mean, it looks like this has been sitting here for weeks with whatever died, or months, years, with whatever died in this. Just maybe he wasn't wearing another one.
I suppose that's possible. Of course, I mean, like I said, all I can confirm there, sir, is that yeah, it definitely looks a lot like that. And if I didn't know better, I would say that was it. But like you said, I mean, it makes no sense that would be the same one. And his.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And you said you didn't check out the hatch over there, and he kind of points over towards a wooden hatch that you guys had seen but didn't touch.
Oh no, we didn't go in there. My good friend Aldous was. We were quite concerned we were going to lose him and me.
He kind of takes a few steps towards it and kind of holds his hand up over his nose. Yeah, I suppose if you've been down there, you would know. They probably would have smelled it on you at the hospital. Well, yeah, and so you said this guy, he looked kind of like the Elephant Man, long hair, clubfoot, wearing a quilt just like that one.
Yes. Yeah,
And
that's the best description we can give you, unfortunately.
I guess you said he had long nails, like grew them out really, really long.
Oh, yes, and I kind of show him my bandage. Yeah, right here. I mean, they sank in deep.
Wow. Yeah, look. Yeah, I heard about the wounds. We checked with the police or with the doctor afterwards, and yeah, he thought maybe you'd been stabbed with like a knife or something, but we didn't find any knives down here. Just a couple of a couple of bullet casings. Yeah, with that, yeah, any other information you have would be helpful, but as you can see, we're at a loss.
Right. Well, if we think of anything, we'll definitely let you know.
And if we find your ring, Mr. Eckley, we'll definitely return it.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Okay, so yeah, he guides you back up and out of the hole, and you guys are standing there, corpses all around you in various degrees of decay, most of which have been stolen from the Essex Cemetery. What are you guys up to from there?
Well, it's just us, right? We're out of earshot of the police, correct?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can step away from it. Like the
There's
police
too many
are.
dead bodies here. Let's just get out of here.
I say, Gertrude, I know what I saw, and I still can't believe what I saw. I would just leave it at this. They don't need to know what was really down there.
I don't think that they would understand it anyway.
Yeah, but then they're going to put us in an asylum.
Let's just go. There's too much death here. We
Yes,
know
we should.
We know
Wait.
that the guy is.
Officer, was there, I'm going to step over to him, was there any type of books or manuscripts found so far?
Not really, no. Nothing of the sort. Everything down there was pretty rotten. Couple of old rusted over iron bits and bobs from, I guess, the ship, but nothing really much other than kind of the stuff that you guys had described to us seeing. Like we found there was a hatchet down there, some other things, but those shoes, and a couple of other things, but nothing like that. No strange books or anything. Why do you ask?
Well, the group of us are just into antiques, and I've been around the world, and we just figured if there's any kind of writings from the madman or any clues, maybe we could help since we were there already. We just anything unusual, maybe it'll help jog our memory because it was very traumatic,
Well, there's plenty unusual, but you're looking at most of it.
Well, once everything's said and done, and the bodies are exhumed, maybe you could call us or contact us, and we'll come back and have another look and see. Just because we want to, we've seen this man face to face, and he did this, and I just want to help. I can't sleep at night knowing he's out there.
Well, I can tell you, if we find any kind of suspect, you and your friends will be the first ones we call. We need to identify this person and make sure he's taken off the streets, because anyone who could do this is obviously dangerously sick.
So if there's any way we could help, I'm sure I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure you can contact any or all of us and would be willing to come back in and take another look.
Well, thank you kindly.
All
And
right.
I just, step away.
Okay. Anybody else up to anything?
I was
As you
going to
guys
say,
walk away.
I think it's time that we go pay a visit to Bolton, find out where lots A and B ended up.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And so with that, you guys pack up in the car. It's you guys still it's early afternoon today, and so you guys make the drive from Essex to Bolton. And as you pull up outside of the Great Eastern Tannery, which I'm guessing that's where you were going, since it's the only Bolton address you have, that's where we'll bring it to a close. Just outside of the Great Eastern Tannery, it's a large, old industrial building, a couple of large, mill-like buildings themselves, and a small, what looks like maybe administrative office to one side.
Okay. Cool. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Brian Daly, Keith Craig, Jason Melnichuk, and myself, with Luke Strom as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. There's a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We like answering them, and give us a like. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft on the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.